Hello techies. Welcome to our brand new video series focused on helping you get the most of your experiences in life. Before we start the video, let's know about Upptalk. Upptalk is a live, interactive platform for software training, furnishing robust personalities who could take on universal business platforms.
So when I will type here HRVP and when I can enter, you can see HRVP, okay. How many people are there in here? Only one user is there, okay. Suppose, if I am taking another dynamic group, let me take something else. Let me scroll down. Let me take talent approval. Okay, I'm taking talent approval as a dynamic group. So who all members are there in the talent, so let me go and type here, talent. You can see talent approval. How many members are there? 2 members are there, okay. How this group is being created. When you click on Create New Group, this looks like an RVP setup, right? Where you specify the name of the group and we can add the from the by filtering the members in terms of this criteria. Okay. On the basis of the employee class, on the basis of the department, on the basis of the job code. Okay. On the basis of the username. Okay. On these criteria, we can add the members, and after adding the members, once you click on it, those members will be reflecting. So somebody has created this. You can see has a group named Talent Approval and how many members are there. 2 members are there. In the future, if you want to add one more member, click on here. You can click add another and you can able to add the member, okay. That is one thing. So, whatever the dynamic groups are there, the dynamic groups are defined from where it is defined from, Manage Workflow Group. From Manage Workflow Group, we can able to see all the dynamic groups, okay. And in each dynamic group there will be some members will be there, okay. So when we are selecting here in the workflow the upload type as a dynamic group and we are selecting the relevant dynamic group from here, from the list, here from where it is coming from, the Manage Workflow Group, which is already configured. Okay. And here it is the place where we are confusing the number of employees or the number of members in that particular group. So when we are selecting the uploader role as a dynamic group, okay. And this dynamic group may be having 2 members. So when the notification will be triggered, when the bar flow triggers and the notification will be sent, the notification will be sent simultaneously to both the members at a time. Okay. But it is not necessary that both the members has to approve it. Any one of the member can able to approve it and they can able to proceed further, okay. Then what will happen? It will. Once the notification is approved by one of the, it will be sent to the next level. That is the level 2, okay. So it is not necessarily that of all the members in that group need to go and approve it, okay. Got it. That is the behavior of the dynamic group. Got it. That is about the dynamic of the source. Yeah. I was about to ask the question. Like all approach should approve, or anyone is okay. No. No notification there will be receiving at a time, but anyone can able to go and approve it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So that is one thing. Then coming into the another behavior that is dynamic. So we have seen rule. We have seen dynamic group. Now we are seeing dynamic. So when we are selecting the dynamic rule, OK. So here also we can see a lot of dynamic rules are operating. From where it is coming. I told in the other foundation we have in the workflow evolution and dynamic rule as a foundation object. OK. So all these drop-down results which are coming from the manage of job. So when I duplicate the screen and when I select here the dynamic rule, when I select here the dynamic rule, we can see all the list will become from here. OK. The business unit had a chief people of user compensation. You can see here the same thing. Business unit had chief people of user compensation. All things will become from here. Suppose if I am taking randomly as a bank manager, OK, as a dynamic rule. So by the flow will be triggered in. Notification will be sent to the dynamic rule to understand who are the dynamic rule. OK. First of all, what is a dynamic rule? For that I just specified here. So the participants that generally dynamically determine, according to the event, reasons for a data change or certain foundation. Object, subject, user. So to understand who are the dynamic rules, for that, what we need to do, we have to go here and suppose we are selecting that particular dynamic rule. How it has been configured, OK. So I will go here and I will pick on make, so here we can see here the dynamic assignments. Are there dynamic rule assignments? We can see here the dynamic rule assignment. So under that we have various columns. Are there OK? Drop classification department, division location. So these are not mandatory fields. OK, we can, if it is required, we can able to keep it blank, OK. But we can see legal entity, although it is not a mandatory field, but generally we can see in the customer system they have defined various legal entities. OK. A single company can have been located in France, Belgium, Australia and Singapore. 4 different countries. So 4 different entities are there, OK, and 4 different entities. They have their different head counts in different locations, OK. So that they can able to configure in the legal entity column. But further when we go towards the right, although this is. These are not mandatory fields. We have a approval type. Again under this one, what you call dynamic rule. We have again. One more option is there, that is approval type. OK. And this approval type we can see it is a mandatory field, OK, it is a mandatory part, OK. So when you go into the approval type again, it is divided into 3 parts. OK, under dynamic rule. So when a dynamic rule is being configured, so now a dynamic compensation manager, you say OK. Generally, what is a dynamic rule? Dynamic rule generally specifies where all the users are categorized under a same object, same foundation object, that is, the position, department, pay grade, event reason. When they are all coming under same segment, then we are going and creating a dynamic rule, OK. So here we have created here we can see, a dynamic rule is created by name, compensation manager. So when the compensation manager, the workflow will be triggered. It depends upon the approval type. OK. Which in the dynamic rule what is the approval type? Suppose the approval type is selected as a person, means that person, individual person, will act as a compensation manager. If we are selecting under the dynamic rule as a dynamic group, and under the dynamic group we are going and selecting a dynamic group where we have two members other. So both the two members will act as a dynamic rule, okay. Because under the dynamic rule, we have defined the approval type as a dynamic group. So both the members under the dynamic group will act as a dynamic rule. So it means that when a notification will be triggered to a dynamic rule, it will be same simultaneously to both the users in the dynamic, but any of the users can able to approve it. That is the behavior of the dynamic, okay. If it is selected as a position. So position means whichever is the position which has been nominated. Therefore, that particular position, once the workflow will trigger, notification will be sent to the dynamic rule, and that position will act as a dynamic rule, and the notification will be sent to that particular position. Okay. So dynamic rule depends upon the dynamic group and the position, okay, got it. So that is when we are selecting here as a true type, as a dynamic rule, and the dynamic rule is being configured from the managed object of paste, and when we are configuring the dynamic rule, it depends upon the under the dynamic rule, what is the approval type which has been selected. According to that, the notification will be sent. Okay. That is one thing. Then tell me if I in dynamic rule, so we also have the dynamic rule type and a few rules. We have dynamic rule, I mean in the approach. So are this the same thing? Yeah, this is the same thing, but here we can specify the output type here directly there. Why we are specifying under the dynamic rule? Because you can see various legal entities are there. Under various legal entities you can see country-specific legal entities you can see. So, according to the country's specific legal entities, they can able to define it. So when you go here you can see best run UK, Germany, France, Brazil and everything else there, okay. So when you go into the approval type, so when you go here you can see approval type, some will be person, some will be position, some will be dynamic rule, depending upon the country. Whys? So for the particular country in the dynamic rule, see dynamic rules are nothing but a specific rule. If you want to keep the type of approval in that who has been designated under the same rule. Suppose two users are there who have been designated under the same rule and who can be a part of a dynamic rule. So in that case we can able to go under the dynamic rule, we can go and create a dynamic, and in the dynamic group we can keep both the users under the dynamic rule, which will act as a dynamic rule. Suppose for the payload or for the compensation specialist for the particular country and that country. We have two users who have been designated as the same level. So they have the authority to go ahead and do the approval process. So that is the reason.
Please do like, share and subscribe to our channel. For more information, contact us at sales@upptalk.com.